Let's talk about this common mistake runners make on race day. I've been guilty of this only a couple times, but I've definitely made this mistake. And especially if you're not as experienced with running or you're running the same problems, maybe this is something you can do or really not do in order to avoid some potential issues. So I'm going to get straight to the point. You can click off this video if you got what you needed. One big mistake you've probably made or considering making, or maybe not even realize you're doing, but you're doing it, is you're going out too hard on race day. And this can be from a 5K distance to a 100-miler, right? And obviously there's so many differences within those races and a lot of different planning. Though this is something I see, and I want to talk about the opposite result that's actually going to be a benefit to you that a lot of people don't mention, and I think this will be helpful, but stick with me on this video. I think it's pretty obvious, right? You probably already know this. If you go out too fast, you can't maintain that, and then you have to slog through the end. And I love this, go down with a fight, like guts and glory. There's definitely a time and place for that. But especially if you've been running the same issue, or maybe you just haven't been able to hit a PR with a certain distance over and over again, you've been missing it or falling short. Starting off slower is obviously, I think, something that can help with that. And I want to talk about what's great when you get to the back end of the race. So here's a mindset I have for most of my races. It depends on the course, but here's one I definitely try and think of, is I want to negative split the race. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically saying you ran the last half faster than you ran the first half. So a negative split, as an example, is let's say you ran a 3-hour marathon. You ran the first half in 1 hour and 31 minutes, and then the last half in 1 hour and 29 minutes. That would be a negative split, right? And so going in with the mindset of I'm going to run slower and really ramp it up towards the end helps with a couple of things. But one, it keeps you from blowing up or going out too fast, right? Run your own race. I think we've probably all heard that. If you haven't, don't worry about the other people, right? Especially if you're just doing a general PR. It might be a different conversation if you're trying to win something. You might have to adapt your strategy based off of who you're racing against, and I've done that before. But generally, if you're trying to run a PR or just finish a race, go out slower and then ramp it up. Especially if you put in the right training, you should be able to get more from yourself and maintain that, right? So don't start off too fast because you're going to blow up. I'm talking even in that first mile. You don't need to run that fast if you have a full marathon ahead of you. Just go in nice control, let the anxiety settle, right? But here's the thing I want to touch out on that is really amazing and is very helpful in a race, is if you try negative split something, and so you start off slower and you have all these people pass you, when you still have the energy to push or really crank it the last little bit, you pass so many people, and it's just like this boost every time you pass someone. If you're running a marathon and you pass someone in the 3rd mile, that doesn't mean anything. You got you got so much more to go. But when you have 3 miles left and you're passing people, you get this little boost. I swear, it's just this little bit of energy, this little bit of confidence. You're mentally strong because you're like, look at all these slow folks, I'm passing them, right? And it's really hard to do this if you go out blazing and you're just slogging, just trying to hold on at the end. And at the end of pretty much every race, you're hanging on to some degree. But it's such a healthier and more enjoyable mindset when you're not just hanging on and slogging it out. You're passing people and you feel like you're just crushing it, because instead of you getting passed, people are passing you. I know what it's like to have people pass me. It sucks, right? I had someone pass me with 3 miles to go in a 100-mile race, and I just that ate me up mentally for the last 3 miles. And so to be the one passing people towards the end, I swear it improves your performance. I don't know if I've seen any science on this or a study, but I promise you, when you're passing people and you got 2 miles to go, or even the last half to go, it just feels amazing to run past people who are slogging it out and started off too fast. So obviously it's going to depend on your strategy and what type of race, but just start off a little slower and focus on a negative split, because if you can do that, one, it feels pretty damn good, but you have all these little boosts of energy. It's like this little power-up, like in Mario Go-Kart or whatever it's called, Mario Kart. It's like this little power-up every time you pass someone. You get this little boost that keeps you going, and mentally you feel amazing. So that's something I wanted to provide as some feedback for people who have maybe never thought about that. I focus on negative splitting every single race now because it feels so good to be passing people at the end. It gives me a boost to my performance. If you like running, tips and tricks, content, mindset things, or some training opinions, I post regular content on this stuff. I'm on a mission to help people get fitter faster and just enjoy the sport of running, avoiding injury, working through injury. And so I post videos on this kind of stuff. So if you like that, hit that subscribe button. If not, it's totally cool. You could watch my videos and get a lot of value without subscribing. So it's up to you. And I hope you get value either way. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace!